In this video, we're going to cover anchors, the use and selection of anchors in regards to rope rescue. We're going to cover 3 specific anchor knots: the tensionless hitch, a round turn 2 half hitches, and a wrap 3 pull 2. We'll use those configurations with webbing, static kern metal rope, and a rescue sling or strap. So what we're going to talk about now is the connection points to our anchors. So I have an anchor set up here. You can connect rope, webbing, or what I have here is an anchor strap or anchor sling. This particular one is a padded sling where the gray part is padded, the yellow part is the sling part. Okay? So when we talk about connections around the anchor, we have the anchor here. What we do for rescue is we go around the anchor and marry the 2 ends together. We call this the basket hitch, or the basket formation or configuration. This is going to be the strongest. What we will stay away from and we will not do is the choke configuration or the girth configuration, where you put the eye through and put it through. We're going to stay away from that for the rescue side. We want to basket hitch it at all costs, okay? If you do need to shorten it down, you can make a round turn around it if you have to shorten it up even, like so. But it's still a round turn with the basket hitch, okay? So then you'll connect your carabiner in and your friction device or your haul system, and you're ready to go. Now you'll notice here on the carabiner how it's pulling along the spine. Carabiners are made 2 directions of pull along the spine. You don't want them to pull across. So let's just say that our anchor is a wide diameter anchor, bigger diameter anchor. So we'll use these 2 posts here, but it'll be like going around one big anchor here, okay? So what that does, it has a tendency to what we call split this carabiner on a different axis, not along the spine, but it's actually pulling on this way towards me and this way towards that anchor. So to eliminate that situation, what we like to do is take the carabiner out, and we're going to use what we call a delta link or tri-link. So you can put the delta link in, and this one here is just a screw lock. So you put your ends of the rescue strap in, tighten it down, and you see with the delta link it can be pulled in 3 directions: towards the load right here and on each leg of a wide diameter anchor.
All right, so at this point we're going to construct a wrap 3 pull 2 anchor system. You can make it either out of rope or out of webbing. I'm going to show you how to do it out of the webbing. You want to find a substantial anchor, wrap 3 times, 1, 2, 3 times around there. This webbing, you want to try to keep it flat so it'll be easier to work with. And you'll join the webbing together with a water knot. A water knot we explained how to tie in an earlier video. You can find that on YouTube. So we'll just trace this out. Leave yourself a little bit of room to be able to work with. And it's a little bit easier when you do not have gloves on. So dress it down. Be sure to tie your overhand safeties. Remember, you're just forming a loop in the webbing. So once you have it tied and safetied off, all it is a loop. So you want to take the other 2 that's against the anchor, and you will feed the slack out, pull these 2, and let the water knot go up against your anchor. It will look something like this. At this point, you're ready to put in your carabiner and your haul system or your working system. So this is how it will look out of webbing. And then with the rope, we like to tie what is known as a double becket. You can also use a trace and 8, and it will look similar to this one right here. And at this time, you can either pull in the upward direction, down, to the left or right. It's multi-purpose. Wrap 3, pull 2. And now we're going to construct a round turn and 2 half hitches for an anchor system. You'll find a substantial anchor. Take your rope and go around that anchor point. Make 1 full round turn around it. With the running end, you will make 2 half hitches. And the way I like to do this is you can go over the top, the running end, go back up through the center here. That's 1 half hitch. And then you want to do exactly the same thing again. Go over the top and come back up through the center. And the way you know this is correct, first of all it is a clove hitch onto your rope, and your standing end is coming in on this side and the running end is coming out on the opposite side. At this point, you're ready to do your overhand safety. Remember, no knot or hitch is complete until you put a safety in it. So the load will be seeing the round turn part. This clove hitch will not see the load. One of the benefits of this is you can tie your anchor point close to the anchor, or you can go out and make a loop as far out as your rope is. For demonstration purposes, we're going to start right here with put a loop in the rope, which is just a simple figure 8 on a bite, which we have explained in earlier videos on YouTube. So we'll dress this down, and always remember to put your overhand safety. If you have a lot of rope, it's okay to go ahead and double the rope to put your safety in. And at this point, you're ready to load your system with either your belay line, or in this case, we're going to use a MPD for the load line. And it's going to look something like this.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to construct a tensionless hitch. You'll take your rescue rope, put a loop in the end. Here I used a bowline and a carabiner, and you'll find a substantial anchor, and you will wrap around that anchor point at least 4 times, depending on the size. The larger the anchor, the less you have to wrap. The minimum I would go would be 4 times. Then take the carabiner and go back into the standing end of the rope. Notice it will be a little bit loose. It does not have to be tight. The load is going to be on the wraps itself. The main benefit of this is less stress on the rope. The carabiner and knot will not come into play, and you can use this like on high lines or when there's a lot of stress on the rope or large heavy loads, and it will look something like this. All right, so this time we're going to construct a 2-point load sharing anchor system. We'll be using this system if you don't have 2 substantial anchors, but you can take 2 suspect anchors and join them together to make 1 substantial anchor. So we'll take, you can take rope or webbing. Today we're going to use webbing, and you want to go around the anchor point and then go around the second anchor point, and you're going to form a loop. We will make a loop in the webbing and a water knot to finish it off. You can go back in our other training videos on YouTube for our knots. Always safety off your knot, trying to keep the webbing flat so it's easier to work with and easier to untie. So once you safety off both sides, we'll work that knot to one side. Then we will reach in here and pull this part of the webbing that's in the middle and come out to the front and form an X. And in that X, you will be able to encapsulate both legs in that. You want to try to keep your angle below 120, ideally about 90 degrees. You'll take your carabiner and go through that X, and it will look like this. When you are constructing this anchor system, you want to keep in mind that if you lose one of these suspect anchors, that it is going to extend out. So you want to allow for that. Think about that when you're building it. All right, so now we're going to construct a 3-point load sharing anchor system. If you don't have one substantial anchor, you can find multiple anchor points that are adequate. In this video, we're going to use 3 different anchor points. We'll take a bag of rope, and the reason we use a bag of rope is because it's going to take a lot of rope to go around each one of those anchor points, and then we're going to need about 10 foot of rope to build a double bite figure 8, and it's going to have 4 legs coming out of the front, which these 4 legs make 2 loops, and the 4 legs out the back. One's going to be going around your anchor point, one you're going to use as a tail to connect the rope together to make a loop, and then you also have a bite coming out of the back, or a loop, that will connect the rest of the anchor system too. So we'll put the double bite figure 8. We will have the rope go around each one of our anchor points. The rope that is going back into the rope bag, we'll take and make a loop in it. And we'll take the tail, we'll call this the running end, and the loop will be the standing end. We will take this and make a double becket to form a loop in our rope. So we'll take that bite and go around as a single becket, and then around one more time and make a double becket, and then we'll dress it down and put a safety in it. We want to build this double becket as close to our double figure 8 as possible in case we lose one of the suspect anchor points. Your system will extend out, but you will not lose the load. So you'll safety down on both ends, dress it down nice and neat, because it's going to see the load right here. So when we finish at this point, it's going to look something like this. You have a double becket on this side, your figure 8, your double figure 8 here. So you will connect your load to the front here, where you have these 2 loops or 2 ears coming out the front, and then you also have a loop coming out the back. You will take this loop and go between each one of your anchor points and bring in and connect to that loop with a carabiner. And then come between these 2 anchors and bring the rope in as well and connect with a carabiner, like so. And it's going to look like this when you get finished. At this time, you can direct it in the right direction so it'll be in line with your rescue that you're about to perform. You can put an anchor plate here or your load system. I want you to remember that when you build this system, each one of these legs, if you were to lose one, let's just use this one for an example. We'll take this one off, and the system will pay out and equalize. And you could have some shock loads. So you want to check your equipment and make sure that it is adequate and not damaged, but you will not lose the load. You will be down to 2 legs of your anchor system.